There's something weird about these election signs in Vernon, BC. First of all, it's not that common to see this many liberal signs. Vernon is a conservative town. We've had a conservative MP for the last 32 years. But there's also a lot of progressive voters here, and typically they vote NDP, Liberal, or Green. Normally at an election right now, you would see way more NDP and Green signs. And I've been talking to people, and there's a few things that I think is going on. First of all, a lot of NDP and Green voters have decided to vote Liberal this year. And a lot of that is because of the threats coming from the United States and their belief that we really need to put all of our votes behind Mark Carney to ensure that he's the prime minister dealing with these threats. I'm also talking to a lot of people that normally don't get into politics at all, who might not even vote normally, and they are also quietly supporting the Liberals this year. In a normal election, you'd see way more political signs. But I'm also surprised I'm not seeing more conservative signs. One variable affecting the Conservatives right now is they chose a candidate who's quite divisive. He ran for mayor back in 2022 here in Vernon and lost, largely because people just found him very difficult to work with and just very divisive. So that's the candidate that they've chosen. The other thing is that locally, the Liberal candidate is just a really excellent candidate. Anna Warwick Sears, she's a PhD. She's worked in environmental conservation for decades. Really bright, really thoughtful and considered, has a collaborative approach, wanting to represent this region. And that message, especially when her primary opponent on the conservative side is, like I said, pretty divisive, there's conservative voters that have decided to vote Liberal this year as well. Provincially, the Liberals just passed the Conservatives in the polls. Again, this is a conservative riding, and the polls here show the gap tightening, but it's still, the Conservatives are still in the lead in the polls here. But I wonder if come election day, we're going to be surprised at how it nets out here, that there might have been a lot more people who were convinced to vote Liberal for this election, and that the Liberals might take this riding for the first time in a long time.